After completing 2 full years of homeschool and having done the whole planning and preparing for our third year homeschooling, I feel confident in sharing some lessons that I have learned that I know will set me up for success if I learn the lessons and I follow through. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, if you haven't seen my face yet, my name is Andrea and I am a homeschooling mama to an 8-year-old who will be starting third grade. And I have learned a lot over this past 2 years homeschooling, and I want to share with you. But before I share those lessons, I want to absolutely make clear that my these lessons are my lessons. They are not me preaching to you saying that you need to learn these lessons. They are definitely not me telling you that if you don't learn the lessons or if you do things differently than the way I'm doing, you're gonna end up failing. Absolutely not. That's not what my channel is about. My channel is purely out of the heart, out of the love in my heart to share my processes and what I learn and what works and what doesn't work in hopes that maybe it will help someone. Just like I get so much help from watching other moms making videos and sharing their journeys and the things that they're using. So, without further ado, let's get into those lessons. They are 4 lessons. Initially, I was going to say 3 lessons, but then I was like, but before all of this, there was this. So, the lesson number 1 that I learned is know where you are going. We need to have, not you, but me. When I started homeschooling, I thought it was going to be so simple. All I needed to do was a language arts curriculum, a math curriculum. Now we were in first grade, right? So going back, and some science, a little bit of history, handwriting, that kind of thing. It was going to be a piece of cake. And yeah, sure, first grade, it's simple. It's not that hard to teach. It's not that hard to get your kid, to become proficient in reading. You will find the tools, whatever you're going to need. But where I went wrong is that I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't. I just simply grabbed what people that I knew used and liked. And I said, well, if it worked for them, it's going to work for us. And so I grabbed the good and the beautiful language arts, math, the handwriting, and a couple of things for an out school class for science and some history curriculum. It didn't take long for me to realize that that wasn't going to work because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know. I didn't have an idea. I didn't have a vision. I didn't have a pedagogy. I didn't know what I was following. I called myself eclectic, but I think I was just all over the place and I wanted to do everything. There's so much out there, right? And I wanted to do everything and I'm mixing and matching things and just trying to create this thing that it's just not something tried and true kind of thing. So the first lesson that I learned is know where you're going, find a style of education, and pick a curricula that will work for me. And that's exactly what I did. After we finished first grade and we started second grade, and after struggling with math, if you've watched some of my videos about our math saga, you will know that I landed on finally Singapore math and I was set. I was like, okay, my daughter doesn't love math right now. Maybe she will fall in love with it at some point. Maybe she will learn to like it at some point. It happened to me, not until seventh grade, but maybe she won't, which brings me to my second lesson that I learned, which is stay consistent and persevere. Our children don't have to love everything in life. That's not real life, you guys. I think there is this ideal that they have sold to us that our kids must be happy all the time, every minute of every day. That is not true because that's not the real world, and that's how we are breeding entitled children. And sorry, I'm passionate about it because I'm kind of tired, really. If I can be honest, this is my channel. I can say whatever I want. If I can be honest, I am kind of tired of seeing all this entitlement out there. And I don't want to raise an entitled child. So she will have to do a few things that she doesn't like emptying the dishwasher. And doing math. And no, she cannot be picking a new curriculum every year or every few months or every time she hits a roadblock and she says, I don't like this, I hate math, I want to do something else. That's not how it works. So staying consistent and persevering and sticking with the plan is so important. I cannot even tell you. We were able to complete the Singapore math for second grade. And although my daughter did not fall in love with it, she came to understand that the work has got to get done. It will have to get done, whether she likes it or not. Which brings me to my third lesson, which is structure and schedule are important. None of that unschooling, that's not, you guys, for me, unschooling, just having a very flexible schedule and not really having any structure. Some days we do homeschool, some other days we don't do homeschool. That just doesn't work. And we just don't come across as confident in what we're doing. And our kids, therefore, will not be confident in our confidence, and therefore they're going to push back, and they will try to not get the work done. And homeschooling is just going to become hard for everyone. They're going to hate doing it because there's no consistency, no structure of education, and we are going to get overworked, frustrated, and just we're going to hate the whole homeschooling experience. It is important to have a structure of education. What days of the week do we do school? Do we do school Monday through Thursday? Do we do school Monday through Friday? At what time? What time do we start? What time do we end? And just having that structure is so important because then it just becomes second nature. That's what we do. We do this every day. We have to do math every day. We have to read every day. We have to do what we have to do because that's how we teach responsibility to our kids. If they just get to do what they want to do when they want to do, they're not going to be responsible adults someday, and it will be a nightmare. Imagine having teenagers who never learned to take responsibility for their chores or their schoolwork, and you have to be dragging and nagging and fighting and telling them what to do all the time when they should by then know what needs to be done. And that is all built early on in the elementary years when we build that foundation of education with responsibility, discipline, consistency, and perseverance. We're teaching them all those virtues that come from having structure and having a schedule. So, yeah, even if you're not a type A person, you don't have to be a type A person to just implement structure in your homeschool. You can just say, well, we'll do school in the morning, we'll do a little morning time here. If you want to, you don't have to, but you do a little reading on the couch or snuggling or something like that. Then we'll go to core subjects, and then we'll do this, then this, then this, and then we'll be done. And it is important. I cannot stress this enough. I felt like I was in the first year of homeschooling, I was being too flexible. Oh, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go to the beach first. My daughter's dad would be like, oh, but she needs to be outside, and so I'm flexibilizing things and trying to keep peace and trying to make sure my daughter is happy. And it ended up that everybody was miserable because she was fighting to do school every day, and I was tired and frustrated, and even considering, what am I doing? What are the options? What is plan B? Because I don't know if I can keep doing this. And the last lesson that I have learned is to trust the process. Truly trust the process. When I said follow the plan, I meant follow the plan, woman. I'm talking to myself. You have done all this research. You have spent all those late hours reading curricula, reading reviews, and talking to more experienced women who have used curricula that's been just tested and true, and it works, such as Ambleside Online. And you just trust the process. Yeah, those books are stretching. Okay, good. They'll stretch my child's brain. Trust the process. Follow the plan. Don't be looking at the next greatest thing. There are so many amazing curricula out there. And I keep just once in a while somebody shares about a new thing that they're going to be using or something that they use. I just found a new channel and this mom uses something completely new I haven't seen yet, and it looks amazing. And so is the curricula that I picked for my child. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I picked it for a reason. And I think we really, having doubt in what we're doing is one of the it's one of the worst things that we can do for ourselves. The lack of faith in what we have chosen, the lack of faith in the direction that we're going, the lack of faith in a curricula, the lack of faith in our ability to teach our kids, the lack of faith, the doubt that they will be capable of learn. You see, our babies once couldn't hold their heads up. Their necks were too weak. They couldn't sit up. They couldn't crawl. They couldn't walk. And I get chills just talking about this and emotional even. And then we look at them now, and maybe you needed to hear that. And they can speak, they can sing, they can jump, they can run, they can read, they can do math. They will learn anything that they persist. And when they are young, they don't have that muscle, that the persistent muscle that has come from us. We are the adults. We get to make the decision of what's best for them. We cannot let our young children make adult decisions. We would not give them the key to our car. That would be irresponsible. It would also be responsible to let a 7 year old, a 9, 10, 12-year old decide that this math isn't good for them. You know your child, you know their style, their learning style, you know the curriculum that you have picked, and you know that maybe they just don't like to do it, and that is okay. That is okay. They don't want to learn a foreign language. Tough life, buddy. You're going to learn because that's going to be good for you. So we need to empower ourselves. I guess that's the fifth. That's 5 lessons. We need to empower ourselves and give ourselves the authority that God has given to us. God said, it's in the scriptures. He told us to listen, to not disregard the teachings of our mothers. God has given us authority to teach our children, to disciple them, to raise them, to educate them. That is not an opinion, that's a fact. And so we need to really walk the steps of that authority and to have confidence that we are doing what's best for our children. And there's nothing wrong in changing our minds later. There's nothing wrong in realizing that a certain curriculum wasn't a good thing and maybe we should have dropped it, 6 months ago. It's okay. It's okay to change our minds. It's okay to realize that this really isn't working. And that's the beauty of homeschooling, anyways. It's not for us to be so rigid on decisions and because we started, now we have to finish. And also not to be so flexible because there are all these possibilities out there that we can just drop whatever we have and just like wasting resources and wasting time. And I dare to say, create gaps for our children because we keep changing our minds every few months or every year or, you name it. we know how it all works. And we also know that it is not easy. It's not easy to homeschool. It's not easy to have that unwavering faith that what our decision is the best thing for our kids. I know we'll always think that maybe we're not making the best decision, but I think that's where prayer comes in place. And we just pray to God that our decisions be guided by the Holy Spirit and that we make the best decision for our kids based on God's will. We have free will, but we really want God's will to be done in our lives. At least I do. And so I wanted to share, I had this in my heart all of a sudden. It came to my heart. I wasn't going to talk about anything like this, but I feel like maybe somebody needed to hear this today. And so there you have it, my 5 lessons that I have learned. I am positive that my homeschooling experience will not be the same since I am aware of these things that I needed to learn. And it takes time. It takes time. Maybe I won't internalize it 100%, all of it 100% immediately. Maybe I will be stumbling and falling and making mistakes, but it's okay. That's part of living and that's part of life. I know I still owe you the video of my binder, and the reason why I haven't shared that yet, it's because I haven't had time. I haven't had time to fully complete it. We have been enjoying the summer, lots of play dates, lots of beach time, lots of great things, friends, times with friends, and family time as well. And I just haven't had time to sit on the computer on my desk, which is full of papers everywhere, and complete that. But I will get that to you at some point. I'm not gonna promise. I'm done promising. Last week I didn't show up here because I was too busy having fun. If there's any specific video topic that you would like me to touch on, feel free to leave down in the comments. I would love to hear your suggestions. If you have any questions, I would love to do a Q&A kind of video sometime. That's it for today. As always, please remember to like this video if you enjoyed watching it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Leave me a comment down below, and I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.